beautiful day to be a Raider, draped in the silver and black. I represent the shield. I represent the swords. Oh, you know what time it is, Raider Nation. Oh yeah, you know what time it is. That's why you're here right now. That's why you take a little bit of time out of your evening to join me. Because you know what time it is. Oh yeah. It's time to bring them.
What's up, Raider Nation? I'm the Commish, coming to you live from Hardcore Challenge Live Studios, deep behind the enemy lines. This is Raider Reaction. What's up, Raider Nation? Thank you for joining me on a Tuesday evening. Actually, quite a bit of Raider news rolling through the channels today. A lot more than you would think for a Tuesday, the end of May. But we'll be discussing the Carr contract, Megatron, Riley Jr., the NFL owners meeting, Marquel, Connor Cook, weekend Raider stories, and the projected final offensive roster and subjective cuts. And of course, we will end with my WTH. So, let's get right into it. It was the breaking news yesterday in the Raider world, and it's worth noting again today. The rumored, the whatever have you, the insider information about the Derek Carr contract. Projected 6 years, $150 million. $50 million fully guaranteed, and a signing bonus of $35 million. Oh, the baby is great, Bobby. Thank you for asking. He's a happy little guy. I couldn't ask for a happier little, knock on wood, man. He's a happy little dude. Let's hope he stays that way. It's officially, what, a week and a day now. But thank you for asking. So, I mean, that's fat pay. 6 years, $150 million? That is elite quarterback money. So that is garnering, if these numbers are true, that is garnering, what's up, dead man? That is garnering DC the kind of money that we all obviously think he is warranted. That is some serious coin. 6 years, $150 million. That is amazing. That is an amazing contract. So that is good to see. So OTAs started yesterday, and the big story today was, and it could be as big a story as you want to make it in your imagination and your mind, because Calvin Johnson was at the Raiders OTAs today. So, of course, the rumor mills start churning, and, you know, why is Calvin Johnson there? Oh my God, is it another like Marshawn Lynch thing? He's in retirement. He was in retirement. And they go, I mean, come on. Can't a guy just stop by and visit? I honestly think that's all it was. I don't think there was anything to it. But you never know. I mean, just stop and think. Think if the reality of that came to be. He does. I agree, Michael. I've looked into it, and he's got a lot of time left. It would cost them a small fortune to. I agree, 100%. But hypothetically, just think about it. If you just drop Megatron in there with what we already have, that would be something else. What's up, Alex? No, of course they wouldn't, Chuck. Of course they wouldn't. But you know that's how these stories get started. You know, and we'll be talking about this a week from now. Like, oh my God, all the Calvin Johnson rumors start floating around. Oh, he's going to be the number 3 in Oakland. They're going to team him with Cooper and Crabtree. You can hear it. That's how that type of stuff starts. But yeah, don't get your hopes up. That one ain't going to happen. Now, like I said, the Raiders started held their first OTA workout on Monday. The OTA practices were yesterday and today, and then again on May 25th. Also on May 30th and May 31st, again on June 2nd, June 5th and 6th, and then June 8th and 9th. After these workouts, the Raiders will hold their mandatory minicamp from June 13th through the 15th. They will be permitted to wear full pads and engage in live contact at these mini camp practices, finally. Which is great news. Fabulous news. So, we're getting close. It's right around the corner. We got football's in the work. It's in its infancy. It's getting there. But so far, things are positive out of camp. Sounds are that Marshawn is fitting in well. There was a little ruckus in the Twitterverse, what have you, with Bruce Irvin, again campaigning for an available free agent, and this was obviously a Raider that played here last season. What's up, Brian? That was here last season, and that is Perry Riley Jr. Now, I always thought Perry Riley Jr. was in the mix, and we were going to bring him back. And then we didn't tender him. I thought by us not picking up a linebacker earlier in the draft that we were for sure going to sign him after the draft, and that didn't happen. So after that, I started to think that maybe we weren't going to sign him, and then with the fact we didn't tender him really made me think we weren't going to sign him. And so I'm shocked to see a player lobbying to bring him back. And maybe it's just the fact that Bruce sees he's out there still and knows that, maybe, I don't know. Who knows? I would like to see Perry Riley Jr. come back. I think he would fit in. It's a position that we are lean at. We're trying to address it with youth, but this is unproven youth. So, you don't know. Brian, I think it's little of nothing. It's obvious. We just talked about that a minute ago, but I think it's a little of nothing. It's obviously something to start rumors. Sup, Sass and Angel Ass? Something to start rumors, but I really don't think it's anything. I honestly think it was a guy just coming to visit. It would be, like some of the guys had said earlier, and I agree, it would be a king's ransom to get Megatron out of the clutches of Detroit. Detroit was not exactly happy. Marshawn left Seattle on a happy term, basically, and had good relationships with the general manager, the guys in... Thank you, NorCal Raider. Thank you, brother. And, it was a much different situation. There's pain and scar between Detroit and Calvin Johnson. They're not exactly, it wasn't an amicable breakup. They're a little bitter. They walk by each other at the supermarket and, they ain't talking, stopping and chit-chatting and giving each other a look and kind of, it ain't real comfy. So, there was a little different situation there. So I honestly think I think it was a little or nothing. I think it was a guy coming to hang out and watch one of the hot teams in the NFL. That was about it. I really think that's about much news as that was. Now, NFL Network. Yesterday, we had some more silver and black splash on the top 100 countdown. Amari Cooper debuts on the NFL 100 at 53 this season. I know, I see that. Like, that's what I'm saying. They came after him for a signing bonus from, I think, 2012, that contract. Yeah, it's not a pretty breakup. That, like, one of them's like, I want the kids. It ain't a pretty breakup. No, it ain't like Marshawn and Seattle when they broke up. They're like, it's all right, call me. No, oh no, it wasn't the same with them. It was not the same. Totally different. Oh yeah, they're coming after. There's money squabblings, and it's not a happy household there in Detroit between Megatron and his former employer. But like I was saying, Amari Cooper, number 53, finally, absolutely, divorce court. So we need to take him. Put him up in some Judge Judy. She fixed him up. But Amari Cooper, 53 on the top 100. Man, that's nice for Coop. Making his debut and he's halfway up the charts. You know he's going to jump big time come the next season. They kind of did him, Rick. They kind of did him like Barry a little bit, but I think it's even a little worse. You know? I mean, Barry put in a little more miles than Megatron put in. I mean, Barry was the horse. He was it. I mean, Megatron was it too, but not for the length of time of Barry. It was I don't know, but they did. The situations are very, very similar. I gotta agree with you, 100%. Situations are very similar, but it's unfortunate. Greatness does Detroit breed, but it doesn't breed them team success there. Both those guys had individual success. They were great statistically, but the teams that they were on, just Detroit has never been able to get it done. So, guy who has been getting it done, like I said, Amari Cooper, number 53 on the top 100. He has been historic, basically, over his first 2 seasons. He's put up great stats, 72 receptions, 1,070 yards, 6 receiving touchdowns in his rookie season. Then in his second year, 83 receptions, 1,153 yards, and 5 touchdowns. He's only getting better. And I think he's going to cut the drops this season. I think him and Crabtree as a whole will be improved on the drops. And because obviously I think that's one of the things they've been focusing on the most is it was one of the biggest issues last season. We had a ton of drops all over the field, and if you think about how much more productive, because I swear every time there was one of those key drops, it was always on a 3rd down. It was always when it would have been a 1st down. It were always in key plays, and it's just the way it is. What's up, Stephanie? And the drops were just, like I said, they were in bad plays. Precise moments, key moments in the game, that's when the drops seemed to happen. Wasn't, so it was a high number. We need to cut that down. Seth Roberts had quite a few as well. But I agree. NorCal. I agree. I think he's going to have a stellar year. I think his stock is still climbing. I think DC's stock is still climbing. I think there's a couple guys in the team whose stock is still climbing, and those two they're going to be that great tandem. They are working on being one of that great quarterback receiver tandems. And if they keep it up, man, it's going to be a beautiful thing. AC/DC, hopefully for years to come, maybe for the next decade. Can you imagine, Raider Nation? If these two just start to gel, where, it could be magical things. Now, the other big news today was the NFL's owners meeting. It started yesterday, but obviously most of the news breaks in the second day, because I think the first day they just all sit around and have a big fat lunch and drink cocktails, and then the second day they're like, we better get to work and hammer out all this stuff we gotta be here for. So a lot of news went down today out of the owners meeting, and one of the biggest things obviously, as sure as everybody heard, was the NFL owners approving to shorten overtime to 10 minutes, shaving 5 minutes off of what it was. Everybody seemed to be in a kind of an uproar about it. They thought that, I guess that was the most substantial change. There was a couple other small changes. There will only now be one roster cut at the cut down deadline. Instead of cutting from 90 to 75, you will only have one deadline to cut down to the 53-man roster. And also, 2 players are now allowed to return off injured reserve instead of 1. Using the new rule, 2 players per season are eligible to return to practice if they have been on IR for at least 6 weeks. So you get an extra IR player as well this season. But the shortening of the overtime, they're saying, is for safety reasons. Correct, Brian. Also, that is one of the other juicy tidbits that came out of the owners' meeting, that they are going to be much more lax on celebrations. They're going to try to allow a little more fun in the end zone and make it a subjective call kind of a thing for the officials, kind of letting them, which hopefully, you know, because it's just gotten to be ridiculous. If the guy goes and high fives somebody, they're throwing a flag. You know, it's just gotten a little ridiculous. Allow them to play. Allow them to play a little bit. Allow them to have some fun. These guys are paid millions of dollars. People pay a lot of money to come watch these athletes perform at the peak of their talent and ability on the field. We pay a lot of money to go out there and be entertained for 3+ hours. And that's, I mean, sports is entertainment. That's what it is. It's all about entertainment. It's all about giving you something to sit there and enjoy. So let them give a little flair, man. Let them have a little personality. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Of course, there's got to be boundaries, and you don't want some guy out there shaking his junk in the end zone, but that's going to get 15. But if a guy wants to do the worm in the back of the end zone, let him do the worm. Who cares? Do the worm and get up and go about your business. Don't act a fool back there. Do your thing. Who cares? Yes, I am, Rick, still in discussion on a couple of those. Because I just had a new baby this week, so the season's not very far off. And we are 5 now, so with a new baby. So I'm definitely at the Miami game. That one we're 100% in, because I'm there with the Florida Raider Nation. Going to be down there at that one. But I would like to be at the opener. I want to be at the opener in Tennessee. I want to do a bunch of interviews live before the game. Catch reaction all the way up, man, from when people are starting to show up. And then I would like to, catch all the action afterwards. Can't really catch no action inside because they'll copyright you. I've done tried that before, man. You ain't getting that streamed. No way. But yeah, Rick, this year's plans are a little different than normal seasons. Because we got a little guy now, so we're toting along. We rebooted, so but a few. I'm not gonna. This is gonna be too glorious a seasons. Now I will, however, I will be at every single Florida Raider Nation event for every single game, and I will be broadcasting live and doing webcasts from there and streaming all of the Florida Raider Nation games. So if I'm not at a game, I'm going to be at a Raider event. So one or the other. So it's not like I'm just going to be sitting at home. This is going to be too amazing of a season. I've been waiting forever for this season, like most of us in Raider Nation have. So I want to embrace this season as much as I can. Even if I'm tied down more than I normally would be on other seasons, but it is what it is. Of course, the one when you got I can go do whatever I want, and I didn't have any kids around. Those are when we were crappy. So, no, not the home opener. The season opener in Tennessee. Season opener in Tennessee. I don't know if unfortunately, as much as I hate to say it, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make a trip to the West Coast for a game this season because of the little guy. I don't know. That is, no, I don't know. That's, yeah. And they only play so many on this side of the country this season. So, and Tennessee is, I looked it up. Tennessee's less than a 10-hour drive. So, I looked that up the other day just to see exactly how far that thing was. So, and I prefer to road trip to flying, man. I'll drive all the way across country, I don't care. I prefer to road trip to flying. Getting there's half the fun. I'm like Clark Griswold, man. I would rather drive. All day. So all I gotta do is hook, there's gotta be some other Florida Raider Nation folk that are heading up to the game in Tennessee, so I just gotta hook up with some of those. I can just ride on up there with them. And we're gonna come stay with Perry Randolph, and then we're gonna go to the game. So that's the plan. But some of the other big news coming out of the owners' meeting, obviously, that is Raider related. 30-year lease for the Vegas Stadium was approved unanimously by the owners. So everything that was drawn up, finalized last week, has all been approved. I will take you up on that, Terry. I would love to come up and watch the Raiders play Buffalo. That is one I have not been to, because it is my goal to see the Raiders play in every stadium in the NFL. I've seen a lot. I catch more road games than I do home games because geographically, everywhere I've lived, I've more been farther than closer. So, I catch a lot of road games. And I've tried to check a lot of them off. I've checked a lot of them off, but I have not checked off Buffalo. I would, as much as I hate it because I grew up in the snow, I would like to see a snow game. I think that would be cool. I'm going to check a night game off this season. I had not seen a night game before. For some reason, every time I've had planned to see a night game, something had happened. But Buffalo is one I would definitely love to go to. Yes, I am going to the Raiders-Miami game. 100%. The Florida Raider Nation we're going down there. We're hooking up with the South Florida chapter. And there'll be a bunch of us down there. And we're going to be down at that game in full force. So I will for sure be at that one. Because I'm going to take the whole family to that one. Because that one's close enough. Yes! Michael beat me to it. That is the other big news. Now, it may not be as big a news to you guys as it is to me. But I live deep behind the enemy lines. And the fact that the Super Bowl got moved to Tampa in 2021 is great news. Because the first year I moved here, there was a Super Bowl here. And man, I don't know if you have ever had the privilege of living in a city that hosted the Super Bowl. But if you're a football fan, it's freaking awesome. I just moved here. I had only been here a couple months. And I hadn't even realized, after I moved here. And then I saw it in the news and I was like, oh my God, the Super Bowl's here. The Super Bowl's here in a month. And I tell you what, like 10 minutes from where I live, they set up the ESPN studios right down on by Harbor Island. And you could go down there and every single ESPN show was showing from there. They had all the NFL lives down there. They were having sports centers down there. They had the Sunday NFL Countdown down there from before the Super Bowl. I went down there before the Super Bowl, met Snoop Dogg, met all the talking heads, Berman, Mortensen, all those guys. It was just, the city that is hosting the Super Bowl is just under the spotlight of the world for a week. It is the hottest place on the planet to be. Everybody wants to be there. Everybody's here. Nice. Ybor City. Ybor City, you get shot down there, Perry. You mess around down there, it's gotten rough, bro. I don't know how long you've been since you've been down there, but it's gotten rough. You gotta stay. People get killed down there. You can hang around until the sun goes down. But yes, that's big news that there was no issue with the lease contract. Went right through. So like I said, as everything that they have done with the stadium has been on a fast track, and every hurdle that you think they would hit, they've cleared easily. Oh yeah, it's gotten a little hairy down there, Perry. It's gotten a little hairy. It's still nice and all, but when it starts to, everything's crept in on it. So, so when it gets dark, but one of the loopholes in the Vegas stadium, however, is the fact that you can do mobile betting. You're allowed to do mobile betting currently inside of a loophole that allows it inside the state of Nevada. So unless the NFL acts and closes said loophole, what's up, Rude? Ybor City is sweet, I ain't gonna lie, but it's just gotten a little hairy when late at night. It's got, yeah, people are getting shot over there. Mobile gambling. So unless the NFL closes that loophole, they have the possibility of, now they're allowing gambling within one of their stadiums. They have been so staunch against gambling for so long, that it's just crazy to see. The Raiders are moving into Vegas. Possibility of mobile gambling in the facility. How long before you got slot machines around the outside? It won't be long. It won't be long. Absolutely, it won't be long. Raider Ed, Assassin Angel Eyes. Share it up, guys. Share it up. If you're watching, man, hit a share. Hit a like. Throw some thumbs up there. Let me know you're there, man. Let me know you're there. And I always appreciate it. Everybody stopping by, spending any time with me. Appreciate. Because I'm here Monday through Friday. 5 nights a week. 7 Pacific, 10 o'clock Eastern. 1 solid hour. So, the other big news we've already hit on, Super Bowl getting moved to Tampa because the new facility in LA is not going to be ready. They got pushed back to 2022. They will get that Super Bowl, it looks like. Thank you, Crystal. So, hey, I'm loving it. It's where I'm at geographically, and the fact that there's going to be a Super Bowl rolling through here again, I'm telling you. Living in a city where there's a Super Bowl going on, even if it ain't your team, man, it's something else. This is an experience. Now, just wanted to take a little time, highlight a different one of our rookies. One of the guys that are trying to make an impression, and just spend a little moment on them. I want to touch on Marquel Lee, linebacker that we drafted this season. When he drafted, it was I don't know if you guys know the story, so I thought I would share the story with you because I thought it was an interesting story. Marquel Lee's father grew up a fan of the Raiders, and he heard the team read off with his son's name. So his father, a Raiders fan, and his son is drafted a Raider, and apparently brought his father to tears, And it was the first time Marquel had ever seen his father cry. Was the day he got drafted and became a Raider. So far, from everything I've heard, the kid has been stellar in the rookie camps and in OTAs. He's really looks solid. Obviously, we're hoping for a lot out of this kid. And, you know, we're hoping he's going to be able to produce. One of the oddities with him is that he's never played on a defense in college that required him to play with a huddle. They always basically called on the fly, and it's just a little strange. So that's something he's going to have to learn, and he's going to have to get taken care of. Get taken care of, absolutely. But, like I said, he's got very positive things coming out of camp. And, you know, 6'3", 240-pound linebacker. His nickname was 8 Ball. I like it. I like it. I like. Nice. Thank you, Raiderhead. Now, another little interesting story. I don't know if you guys caught this one. Connor Cook, who I believe is going to end up our backup quarterback. I don't think it's going to be E.J. Manuel. They may keep E.J. Manuel around as a cheap third, but I got a feeling they'll end up letting him go and just grabbing another young kid and trying to prep him behind Connor Cook. I don't honestly know if E.J. Manuel's even going to make our roster. That's my honest feeling. But Connor Cook is, I don't know if he's trying to change his mojo or what he's trying to do, but he's changing his jersey number. And he's going back to his college number. So he's changing from 8 to 18. I don't know if that's going to do anything for him, but, well, I hope so, Chuck, because he's one of the guys that I believe got to step it up this season. That this needs to be his year. He needs to make a turn this season. He's one of them, I believe, 100%. I don't know, Perry. I think it's going to be Connor Cook. I really do. I really think they're still pushing this kid, and they've got a lot of faith in him. He didn't get a fair shake last year, so I mean it's hard to judge him off of that. Like I said, I believe in the playoffs he was completely handcuffed by the play calling and the game plan that they came in with, so I don't think he got a fair shake at all. So, you know, I saw some flashes out of the kid, and I think he just got a bad shake, and I think the Raiders saw flashes out of him too. So, but I think they brought E.J. Manuel in case, you know, they see things in training camp or something this year that they just don't like. They've got another option. Because, like I said, we've seen how important the backup quarterback position was with what happened last season. So, you know, it is what it is. But he's changed his number from 8 to 18. And we're going to see if that changes anything. Let's see if that changes anything. Now, just a little touch on a couple little Raider stories that popped up over the weekend. Khalil Mack was out at a youth football camp over the weekend and was sporting some one-of-a-kind tricked-out cleats. I don't know if you guys saw these, but these things were bad, man. These boys were bad. Check these guys out. They're all chromed out on the bottom. They got a special Mac logo on the back. I mean, those things are bad. Those are bad. So, you know, Khalil's getting his own one-of-a-kind cleats. So, you know, this is pretty sweet, man. The bottoms are all chromed out. Pretty cool, pretty cool. And then the other little cool story this weekend was Marshawn Lynch on his custom beast mode bicycle, and hundreds and hundreds of kids riding on an impromptu bicycle parade through the streets. You know, that is Marshawn is just a guy right now that I think is just loving football again. You know, obviously he wasn't loving football, and so he retired. But if he's loving, man, a guy that loves and enjoying what they're doing, I'm telling you, man, adding beast mode to the mix can be a dangerous, dangerous thing this season. And I think it's going to pay off big. Like I said, I don't predict beast mode getting 1,500, 1,700 yards like I've seen some of you other guys' prediction. I see him just getting his 1,000, a little over his 1,000, but I see those as 1,000 very, very impactful yards. I think the impact he's going to have on the team is going to be phenomenal. Not necessarily statistical, but he's going to be very impactful. He's going to be able to help control games when they need to be controlled. He's going to be able to push it into the end zone when it needs to happen. He's going to be able to get things taken care of. 1637. Perry's on the board. So, when you start to look at the OTAs, what we got going on offense, you got to start looking at who you think is going to be the guys that are left over. That are going to be the guys that are left over. Who are going to be the guys that are, when you trim it down. So, just taking a look at the offense, like I was saying, we've obviously got Derek Carr. He's going to be back. He's 100%. Going to win the MVP, you know, without a doubt in my mind. And then you've got Connor Cook and E.J. Manuel. As you look at it, you would assume that those three are going to make the roster. The only iffy is, like I said, if they decide to just deal E.J. Manuel, release him, and just try to go out and grab some younger kid. If they're just not happy with what they see through training camp and preseason with E.J. Manuel, they may, like I said, if they're happy with Connor Cook, think he's going to be a strong second, maybe they would gamble, try to develop a little more of a third, or maybe they're hot on E.J. Manuel and, you know, they think he's going to be the second. They want to develop Cook a little more. Keep him back at the third position. It's hard to tell what they're thinking. I think Connor Cook showed some flashes. I just think it was a bad situation he was brought into. And my projection is he's going to be the second. I'm a little iffy on whether E.J. Manuel honestly makes the final roster. But we'll have to see there at the quarterback position. Now at the running back position, the adding of Elijah Hood and Marshawn Lynch to the mix after the exit of Latavius Murray creates a crowded backfield. One left and you added two. So that means somebody's got to go. That means there's going to be an odd man out. Tywan Jones has been a utility guy. He's played defensive back. He's played running back. He returns kicks. He's just a natural athlete, and he can get things done. So that's why they've kept him on the team. They've moved him around, tried to find him a spot. I think he may be the odd man out. Even though he's a great return man, I think he may be the odd man out. And it's going to be Marshawn Lynch, Jalen Richard, DeAndre Washington, Olawale at fullback, and Elijah Hood. I don't see Tywan making the cut. It's unfortunate. I'm a Tywan fan. I think he's solid. I agree he's very athletic, and having a guy like that on the team that's multi-purpose. But I think Tywan is going to end up the guy on the block possibly. Yep. 8-18. Absolutely did. So, Then you got to look at the wide receivers. I see the top 5 guys making it in as Amari Cooper, obviously Michael Crabtree, Seth Roberts, Cordarrelle Patterson, and Johnny Holton, rounding off the 5 wide receivers. I think those are the guys that are going to make it. I don't think some of these rookies are going to make it. I just don't see it. And he is. That's what I'm saying, Michael. That's why they've kept him around, because he's just a natural athlete. But the fact of the matter is, he's getting pushed out of the positions that he can play. And it's hard to keep a guy on roster just because he's fast. You know, he's got to be able to be fast in the hole and make plays like Richard. And, you know, every time I've seen the little sparks out of Taiwan, I thought he was going to... It's just never culminated to any as what it looked like he had the potential to be. I think he's just one of those guys that are fast and athletic, and I think he's going to end up expendable, and I think he's going to be the one that gets left out. Now at tight end, I think we're going to carry the 4 tight ends: Lee Smith, Clive Walford, obviously Jared Cook, and Gabe Holmes. Those will be our tight ends. Jared Cook, I believe, is going to be who we lean on, obviously, at the number 1. That's why we went and got him. He's a playmaker. Having a playmaker for DC at the tight end position is big, and that's why we went and got him. He's definitely going to be the number 1. Lee Smith is a great blocking tight end. And Clive Walford, I've seen some flashes out of Walford. And then he just kind of, I don't know, he seemed to tail off. But there for a brief fleeting moment, he really looked like he was an up-and-comer. So, my jury's still out on him. Gabe Holmes is another one. He's been around a few years now, and you know, he's got such potential. Such a big guy. I mean, to have 4 solid tight ends, I mean, hey, it's not a bad thing to have. That's not a bad thing to have at all. So, but adding Jared Cook, adding a big play tight end to the already mix is a fabulous thing. I think we can all be happy about that. Now, looking at the, I don't know, Chuck. I don't know if he's that valuable of trade bait. I honestly don't know. I think if you would have caught him when he was hot in his hot streak, I think you would possibly could have dealt him, but I don't know if he passed that window with the way he finished out, because he wasn't. It wasn't a strong finish. You know what teams are going to look at for his worth. You know, I don't know what you can get for him. And I think they're happy carrying the 4 tight ends. Now, when you're looking up at the offensive line, we've added a couple players via free agency and draft. Also means somebody's got to go. I've heard that too, Chuck, about Washington, that maybe he's the odd man out. I don't think so. I think him and Richard are a deadly quick duo that can catch passes out of the backfield, and mixing them up with beast mode, that could be a wicked thing. And I'd like to see that, because those two showed some real flashes last season, and mixing it up did not seem to bother anything. And if you this is what I'm saying. I don't know if Marshawn because he's got these other running backs, is going to get the huge amount of numbers, but he's going to get the impactful carries when he's the guy that can just get you those dirty yards when you need that 4 or 5 yard run on first down, when you need that short yardage to get the first, to get inside the 5, down the goal line. When you need an impactful banging runner, that's when Marshawn's going to be there. So, a 6th? I don't know. Maybe. I guess. I can see it, I suppose. I can see it. I can see it, but I honestly think they're happy with the 4 tight ends. I think that's why they signed Holmes. Because I think they're going to roll with them. They brought back Holmes and they brought back Jared Cook. Signed them both this offseason. So I think they're going to go with the 4 wideouts. Or excuse me, 4 tight ends rolling into the season. So now, like I said, the offensive line, somebody's got to go. And I think it's going to be Austin Howard. I think he's going to end up the odd man out for salary reasons. And he's going to be shown the exit. He's going to be out with the old. Got to make some room for the new guys. Got to make some room for the new guys. And unfortunately, he's going to be the one to go. So there's a couple notables. Like I said, Tywan Jones, I see going to be getting squeezed out. And Austin Howard. Those are probably the 2 guys that I see that are notable ones that, just looking at a glance, like at a very early glance of barring any injuries or anything happening, what you could be looking at when you're coming into the season. So, I mean, looking at the offense as a whole, it just excites me every time I sit and look at it. Exactly. Tana is right. And we've added him. We went and signed a free agent. We've added to the offensive line who was already stellar. So somebody's got to go. And exactly, we didn't go draft a new kid. Did not give him a shot. So he's going to get a shot. He's big kid. And we got to start grooming somebody for behind D-Pen. D-Pen's getting long in the tooth. He's playing at top level right now. But when you start to get up there at that age in the NFL, the drop-off is quick. And it happens quick. And he's not going to be able to play forever. So you got to start thinking of his replacement. And it was nice to see them address that this season. Absolutely nice to see them address that this season. But we're going to be getting into this, training camp's not too far away. Things are going to start getting shook up. I mean, it seems like forever and a day away, but it's really not. I mean, it's weeks. We're just talking weeks now. And, we'll have silver and black on the field on a regular basis. Then we'll be rolling into preseason. Before we know it, our Sundays are filled with silver and black again. Like we're all anticipating. It's not that far off. What's up, Soul? So, it seems like forever and a day right now. But we're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there. But with the owners' meetings today, you got Megatron showing up at OTAs. You got all sorts of crazy nonsense going on in the NFL world. I mean, even in the end of May, Bobby's got the countdown going. That's what I'm talking about. 10 Sundays to go. Man, seems like forever, though. Seems like forever. But, yeah, well, it is what it is. The countdown continues. And we will all get there. We'll get there together, Raider Nation. There is Raider football on the horizon. It's not that far off. We will get there. We will get there. We'll get there together. Oh, JD's on it. Nice. JD's like Adam Schefter. He's got all the inside. He's got all the inside information. It's right here, bro. You'd think the show's about over because I'm almost empty. So, we are trying, Prime and the commish are trying to put together a Smack Talk challenge, one-on-one, tournament style, and we are taking entrants. We're trying to find one from all of the 32 teams. What's up, Josephine, Raider? I've got a few of them filled so far. So I've been digging into all of the NFL Smack Talk groups, trying to pull out all of these keyboard warriors and see if they can actually bring the fire when you pull them out from behind their monitors. So, we will see. We will see. I'm working on filling the board, but we'll see. Give me 2 weeks. I will keep you posted. But I've been advertising it, and we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Trying to fill some of our dull time between now and the football season, giving you a little Roman Coliseum style Smack Talk action. But we'll see if I can pull the efforts together in the next few weeks to pull that off. So, gonna wrap up with my WTH for this edition of Raider Reaction. I touched on it a little bit last night, and I thought I would expound this evening. Statistically, he was a great wide receiver. Probably Hall of Fame worthy. I honestly think if you took away his personality and him and just took his physicalities and what he did on the field, that he should be in the Hall of Fame. But it's his mouth and the cancers that he was sometimes on the team that caused him to probably be put out of the Hall of Fame and not voted in. Terrell Owens, statistically, is a Hall of Famer. But he didn't get voted in the Hall of Fame. He goes and gets his own jacket. He wears it on the sidelines. He's thumbing his nose at the committee. And that's not how to endear yourself to them and help you get yourself voted in. So, that's already a bad move when you should just be gracious. A lot of guys don't get voted in on their first several ballots. Chris Carter waited a long time. A lot of these guys waited a long time. I mean, hell, there's Raiders now that should be on there and still haven't made it. I will assassinate Angel Eyes. And, you know, he's just not helping his cause. And then now he's coming out, and Megatron's going to be coming up, and for his opportunity to come to the Hall of Fame, and then you got T.O. out there, lighting the torch for him and beating the drum for him. Always rule number one. It's a long show. Man gets thirsty. No, a regular one ain't going to be enough. It's going to take a tall boy. And sometimes, it's a real juicy show. I gotta get a second. Every once in a while. It gets off the chain. But, T.O., man. I don't know. I don't know if he's that bad of a guy or if he's just got some, you got like ADHD or something. Like you just want to feel sorry for the guy. Because I tell you what, man, what he did when he was on the Eagles in the Super Bowl, coming back from the broken leg, sleeping in the hypobaric chambers, he balled out in the Super Bowl. I ain't gonna lie. I was impressed. That dude was the best guy on the field. Unfortunately, he was on the losing team. Now, I can't say as much positive things for him with the other stops he made, but statistically, he did well. He did well. Yeah, exactly. But That's what you just want to take the guy and just T.O. Just be quiet, man. Be quiet. Just shut up for a couple years. Just lay low. And they'll vote you in. Just chill out. What the hell? T.O. Ugh. So, like I said, the commish, first edition of the Bring the Fire Challenge. We're looking for one fan from all 32 teams. I have a couple teams already locked and loaded. I've been going into the nether regions of Facebook that I would never typically go. Other NFL groups and Smack Talk groups and NFC groups, and I'm trying to find the Smack Talkers from the nether regions and draw them out to put them in a Roman Coliseum style one-on-one face-off. I've given myself 2 weeks to pull this off. If I can't do it, I'm going to scrap it and move on. But for 2 weeks, I'm going to give it my all. And I've already got some locked up. If I don't get all 32 and I get enough to field an entertaining battle, I'm still going to field it. But I've got to get a few. And I still need a Raider representative. Still need a Raider representative. A beer assistant is a brilliant idea, Bobby. The commish does need a beer assistant. Interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting. So, tomorrow night is Wednesday night. And what does that mean? On every Monday and Wednesday on Raider Reaction, it's Ghost to the Post with Prime and the Commish. So Prime will be back with me tomorrow night. And we will touch on all the hot league news, spin it around the league, touch on everything as it affects the silver and black. Then, obviously, I'll be back on Thursday and Wednesday at my regular time, 7 p.m., 10 p.m. Pacific. Because what do we do on Oakland Raider football for 2 solid hours every single weeknight? We go coast to coast. We start right here on the East Coast with a solid hour from the commish on Raider Reaction. And then I throw it deep to the West Coast, to the infamous Raider Bear for another solid hour of Raider flavor and insight. So you get 2 solid hours every single weeknight. And I do believe the Raider Bear gives you an extra special hour on Fridays. So, right here, it starts at 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern, every single weeknight. So, I'll be right back here again tomorrow night. Like I said, it's a Wednesday. That means Ghost to the Post. That means Prime's going to be here. That's double the fire. So, thank you for joining me. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow evening. We can break down a little more Raider flavor. Until then, peace, love, Raider Nation.